in other areas. We'll only be able to attest to what we see ourselves here.
Senator, we're from Pakistan Television, the official state broadcaster of Pakistan. Would you like to say something to the people of Pakistan on this day? And are you satisfied with the process of observation? You've just observed the polling process?
Well, this is the first polling place we've seen, and yes, I mean, the main thing for me, and I'd like you to ask my colleagues that question as well, but the main thing for me is that each of the party representatives seem very certain that the process thus far is being conducted fairly. They seem not to worry about whether their constituency is going to be able to get in to actually vote. And so that, to me, was the most reassuring thing I've seen so far today. But Senator Hagel.
Senator Hagel, what's your take on this? You've gone around and to various polling stations. You observed the polling process. So how do you feel about the transparency of the elections?
Well, as Senator Biden noted, this is our first stop. We will be visiting different polling stations all day today. Like Senator Biden noted, I think all of us expect, first of all, access for all the people in Pakistan who want to vote, not encumbered, a fair accounting of the ballots, and accurate representation. And I know that's always the focus of balloting, so that the people of a nation have trust and confidence in the system. As Senator Biden noted, we can't change any of that, but I think by being here and participating as observers and encouraging the people of Pakistan and the government officials to, in fact, conduct free, fair, and open, transparent elections is an important thing for all of us.
Any message would you like to give to the people of Pakistan on your visit?
Well, one thing the United States should do, and some of us have advocated this for many years, is on Election Day, we should have a holiday in the United States. We don't do that on Election Day. Pakistan does. Many countries in the world on Election Day, they don't go to work, they celebrate. I think election should be a day of some celebration. It's a renewal of democracy, of a spirit of a nation, an opportunity to vote for those that you think can do the best job leading your country. So I would encourage a lot of participation and congratulate the people of Pakistan.
Senator Biden.
One of the things that the people of Pakistan should know is we have a long-term interest in the democracy in Pakistan, and that our interest is not tied to any one man, it's not tied to any one party, it's tied to the people of Pakistan. And we believe that we should be significantly increasing our economic assistance to Pakistan to demonstrate to the people of Pakistan that we have a long-term relationship. It is not transactional. It's not based on a single man or a single party. But it does matter to the people in the United States that the perception be that this was a fair election. If that occurs, then I think the people of Pakistan will see that the United States is prepared to even be more robust in our economic assistance to Pakistan. It's not merely a military relationship. It is a long-term relationship.
With all due respect, Senator, your recent pronouncements create a lot of alarm in Pakistan. And would you like to clarify that regarding the cutoff of aid and stuff like that? There was a certain...
I'll clarify clearly. If the elections aren't fair, I will move to cut off significant amounts of aid. If the elections are fair, I will move to significantly increase the amount of aid. It comes down to whether or not there is a democratic process. I'm hopeful that will be the case. But if in the event that the conclusion at the end of the day is that this election ends up being rigged because the polls counted here and every other polling station end up in an aggregate being different than what they were here, then that's a very different story. So it's about whether or not these elections at the end of the day, when all the polling places are closed and the votes are counted, were free and open and fair.
Senator, there is a perception in Pakistan that despite being the frontline state against communism for 50 years and then now Pakistan is a frontline state against terrorism, it seems that USA just puts off its hand, at critical junctures, be that in 65 war or 1988, 89. So do you believe that the current relationship, would it continue on?
I hope it won't continue that way. That's what I meant by transactional. That's why I think we've got to make clear to the people of Pakistan that for the next 10 years, our economic assistance is unconditional. It is unconditional. Our military assistance is different. Our military assistance is different. The people of Pakistan have to understand that our relationship isn't based upon, can you benefit me today? And that's what this relationship has been for the past 30 years. That must change. And so I, for one, speaking for myself, have proposed a tripling the amount of economic assistance to Pakistan, from a $500 million to $1.5 billion. I've also proposed that if, in fact, this election goes off freely, which we anticipate, that there be a democracy reward of an additional $1 billion. So the vast majority of all of your countrymen are moderate, serious people who are Democrats with a small d. We've got to make it clear to you that we're in this for the long haul, not just next year, not just about terror, but the long relationship. And that's what has to change in the relationship, in my view. But it is important that the election be fair and transparent.
Senator Hagel, what's your take on this? Pakistan has lost a lot of soldiers fighting this war on terrorism, and even then there is this cry of do more again and again. So what's your take on that? Because it seems that a lot of casualties are being taken by Pakistan, and even then there is this cry of do more. Why?
Well, I think we have to recognize that Pakistan, the United States, nations of the world have a common interest here in combating terrorism and extremism. And we all are in this together. And we are all going to have to work through this together. And this relationship between the United States and Pakistan is an important relationship. It's a key relationship. Pakistan is an important ally and friend of the United States. It has been. So we work together, and these are not mutually exclusive interests. And so we have to respect each other's own priorities and sovereign issues. And I think if we do that, then we can come together with a very clear common denominator of common interests. And we're attempting to do that. Every country is a little different, styles are different, cultures are different, histories are different, but no nation should dictate to any other sovereign nation as to how they do things. We must work together, and I think that's what the real point is, working with the Pakistanis and the United States and others in dealing with terrorism and extremism.
Any other one or two line message you'd like to give to people of Pakistan?
Well, I think, again, it's important that as we look at a 21st century world that's very complicated, very combustible, very dangerous, that it's going to require all nations of the earth working together. And that begins with governments that represent the people of the countries, duly elected representatives. And that's why this election is so important. It's why elections in the United States are important, or any democracy. So we're here to encourage the Pakistani people and thank the Pakistani people for their friendship. And we look forward to many elections in the future and relationships. There are difficult challenges that we face, but we face them together.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.